good morning, evening, whatever it is where you are, and welcome to another episode of Looking for Legends, where we get nerdy, throw math rocks, and look for legends. Let me bring Caden in first because of what he's doing. Oh, Grace, got grandma vibes. Excellent. And Inaka is nowhere to be seen. That tracks. So, guys, for reasons, we have decided that the ending that we gave you all originally was less than satisfactory. So we are now re-recording it and going with a bit of a different vision, because you know what? It's our product, and we can do that. We can recreate our stuff and tell better stories than we did originally. So that's what we're doing. We are giving you guys a better story. But first, let's get something out of the way. Let me actually find it here. Intro. No. Section. There we go. As a matter of course, in our stream, we absolutely, at all times, include fantasy violence, social adversity, and many adult themes as part of the storytelling. So, little Jimmy needs to stop watching this. Karen, if you can hear me right now, tell little Jimmy to stop watching this show. That said, the characters, events, and settings are purely fictitious, and any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or to real-world events is coincidental and unintentional. Viewer discretion is advised, as some themes may not be suitable for all audiences. By continuing with us, we ask that you accept these elements and join us in the community and game we all love. Thank you for being part of our legendary journey. Let's get into it. As a bit of a couple of announcements, whatever, some things have changed since last you saw us, most likely. This is like 6 months later, maybe. Yeah, I don't know how much longer it is, but it's like 6 months later. Obviously, you can tell some things have changed. Any music in this episode is going to be from Monument Studios. Check them out. I'll have them linked on their YouTube here. They have a crazy cool thing called Fantasy Plus. It's kind of like a music and sound effects mixing thing to use in your games. And, well, there's not going to be any maps, so that's beside the point. Do you guys want to go ahead and say anything about Roll for Chaos or Our Flag Means Doom? Oh no. Oh no, the microphone, buddy.
Yeah, we're serious, unfortunately.
I accidentally cast silence on him. My bad.
We were struggling with some
it.
microphone issues before we got on. So, Kelsey, do you wanna talk some Our Flag Means Doom while he's figuring that one out?
Yes, absolutely. You should go check out Mr. Dandy DM's YouTube channel and go check out Our Flag Means Doom, where I play with Pandora Necromancer or Emma Ramasco. I play with Valve Max. I forget the numbers, but he's Andy Taylor. He plays Brash Briggs. I'm not going to try to mimic that because it's going to be butchered. And then there's Knocked Octopus, who plays our Dragonborn Blood Hunter, who is absolutely hilarious and absolutely obsessed with the fact that he has died 4 times now. Let's see how much longer we can get it to go. But we're just a bunch of pirates trying to help stop the end of the world, which is kind of weird. But it is what it is, and it's been fun.
Can you hear me?
Yes, let's go!
Right on time.
Timing. That's the kind of chaos you'll see at the Roll for Chaos show.
I hope not.
Hopefully not. There, of course, the Roll for Chaos show is a show I produced with some buddies. And yeah, like any first time making a web show, yeah, we have lots of audio screw ups and video screw ups. It's what happens when you start this. But premise of the show is we dive into all things chaos. Each season is set in a homebrew world with just crazy game mechanics that we're always testing out, pulling from different places, making up ourselves. And the first season, I DM'd secretly 2 campaigns set in the same world at the same time to see if their actions could kind of lead into the other storylines. One of the campaigns I named the Gardens campaign. It was set in this flora punk world, and one of my favorite characters was my good friend from college, Raimi Washington. They played a homebrewed like Trient race, and her name was Barb Berry Ann, and she was a berry bush barbarian. And she was just the funniest character. She had so many great moments. One of the characters was just named Dusty and was a single speck of dust. That was super fun to play around with. And then another character, my good friend Hannah Tavis, played as Dimitri, a little octopus man. That was also super funny. JD played Dustin. But yeah, super fun characters, super great time. Check out the Roll for Chaos show on YouTube and Instagram for all that chaotic goodness.
Absolutely. And Kevin, do you want to talk some C2E2?
I mean, I guess, yeah. So
At this point, it's probably relevant. By the time they see the others,
yeah, that's fair.
probably won't be
April
anymore.
11th through 13th, 2025, myself, Will, our fearless DM Josh, we will be making appearances at C2E2, and by appearances I mean we're just going to show up and hang out with the fellow nerds, because that's what nerds do. And we're going to meet people like the cast of Critical Role. We're going to meet other people like the voice cast of Baldur's Gate 3, Lord of the Rings. What is it? They just said Elijah Wood is going to make an appearance as well, so I'm stoked on that. Yeah. Also, the Starship Troopers cast will be there. You know, Casper Van Dyne. I'm excited for that one. So, yeah.
All right. Excellent. Yeah. So, if by wild chance you happen to watch this and be going to C2E2 and see us, please say hi, because that would be so much fun just to kind of chat with you. You know, get to know all the beautiful nerds out there. Anything else anybody wants to say, or can we get into this? All right, excellent. So, where's the music now? I know it has a new home. Is it Media Assets? Media and Assets. Okay.
Do you want to get into the new music or the OG music?
Well, I did. Ooh, you know what? I don't know if we still have the rights to the OG music.
Oh no!
Don't. Yeah.
Well, that settles that question.
Yeah.
All right. Then things might look a little interesting because we have to switch the brand, and I think that puts us in a weird place. I'm pressing it now. No one freak out. I think we're good.
Ooh.
I think we transitioned
Perfectly.
perfect.
All right. Let's see. Let's go to.
Caden, I swear if you start playing that Peaches song, I'm gonna rage quit.
Peaches, 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 peaches.
We don't have that loaded up, but while we have a little bit of time here, I do know what I
We
will
absolutely
do.
should. Okay. So, Scorn,
Yeah, what's up?
you are throwing your ice grenade, correct?
Yeah, got my cryo grenade right here, baby.
How does that look? Because some important things happen here.
Scorn, seeing her being held, Scorn is going to roll up the ice ball, imbue it with his explosion magic, and throw it down by her feet to explode and engulf her lower half with ice. So he's going to roll. Net 20 to hit. So I'm going to assume that hits.
Absolutely.
That's actually crazy.
That's actually crazy. I was like, oh, it doesn't matter because we know I hit her. But and 18 ice damage to her lower half.
Is that with the crit?
Ooh, crit is more, but I don't want to kill her.
Okay, so non-lethal. Gotcha.
Non-lethal, and she has to make a DC. Is that strength? A con save, or she could be frozen. Otherwise, it's just cold damage.
Well, it doesn't matter what the DC is. That was a natural 3.
Then she failed.
So, I mean, even with like a plus 10, it probably still wouldn't. And she does not have a plus 10 to con. So the ice begins to form at her feet in this kind of corrupted alien form and crawl up her legs, or the various appendages that have formed where her legs once were, up to the kind of where her waist is. The cold continues. Where the ice stops, the chill continues all the way up her spine and into her head, her muscles tightening and freezing in place. A couple seconds go by, and even through the chill and the ice, her form begins to revert into the Vesna that you all had seen before. Her breathing is labored. She looks at you all. What will you do with me now? You're going to kill me. Just kill me. You don't know what you will release.
Inaka's standing behind her with like the tail that she ripped off, just standing over her, going, "Well, what are we doing?"
Doesn't matter how bad she pisses us off, we need to turn her into the council.
But then they get to kill her, and we don't get to kill her. And she almost killed my lion, and I really want to kill her.
Almost is not the same as committing the act. This person,
she would have killed my lion.
We survived.
She would have.
We survived. And the things that this individual has done, she needs to be held accountable for. The things she's done to us are bare minimum. Look at the room outside. We killed all her people. The amount of things we've done to her, I'm pretty sure we've tipped them scales.
Sometimes I hate justice.
You've killed
because
all
revenge is way more
of
fun.
my people.
No, don't you worry. I'm going to hunt down every single one with a friend of mine, so you can shut your mouth. You want to talk, like, we could talk, but don't go running it now. You're not in a point to be making any kind of threats or anything.
You talk of being held accountable. Accountable to who?
Great question.
I have my master. I made
So-
that
so-
bargain long ago.
So who do you pray to? Who's your god? Goddess? Which one?
You think the gods help us? No. No. None other than the corrupted king have power here.
Cool.
Interesting, since we just took it all away.
You think one of his servants is enough to take away his power? No.
Oh no, you said he had power here, but like what I'm saying is that like clearly not, because we kicked your ass.
Oh yeah, so She meant the prime material, not like here.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's talking.
and you're
a bigger
speaking to
scale.
Sebastian. So
Oh, right. Yeah.
The Sebastian.
I
The
got
point.
used to Dowdy for a second. I was like,
no, Dowdy would get it, not Zeb.
for sure. She just kind of regards you with like a look of like, do you really not get this?
Does she have? Was there on because she shrunk down to her normal size? You said, right?
Yeah.
Does she have like something on her that is like the wraith's like symbol or anything like that on her, like clearly visible, or no?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say because of the way that she kind of like rapidly grew to the size that she had before, she at this point shrinking back down, well, the ice is kind of strategically placed, but yeah, she's not really got anything on, because like like the Hulk kind of thing, he grows and then like when he shrinks back down, so but you are able to see what looks to be something between tattoos and branding down her spine, kind of across her back. There are various markings, one of which is that the symbol that the wraiths often have made use of. One of them is a sort of floral design that you all would recognize as a nightshade. One of them, something you don't recognize, even as you try to kind of focus on it, it seems to morph, and her skin seems to kind of twist about in the place where it is. You can't seem to focus on it and make out its design.
Well, Daisy, I feel your energy on that aspect of this individual not deserving to draw breath. But
Daisy is still like crouched over Onwu, trying to help get his armor back on.
Onwu's just crying.
Yes, Spawn half listening. He's kind of like going to everyone, kind of giving little healing.
Inaka, is that your souvenir? You gonna keep that?
Can I keep it?
We could turn it into a whip. It'd probably be pretty cool.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm uncomfortable.
It's okay.
Actually, after reading what we
he was
read,
a demon thingy, so it's
all consensual. So.
I mean,
Don't worry, I won't use it on you unless you ask.
No, no. Anyway, listen.
I was thinking combat, but now I'm interested.
But getting back to the original thing, Jimmy, stop watching right now.
It's not a kid's show. Move along.
Talking about weapons. What are you talking about?
It's Lady Vesna. Is that right?
I'm sorry.
It's Lady Vesna. Is that how do you like me to address you?
Address me how you want. I am no longer what I was.
No, and you're gonna lose quite a bit more.
Okay, asshole. Why did you do all this?
Oh, there you go.
Fair. She looks puzzled for several seconds, as if thinking. As if she had been on a course of action for so long that she had almost forgotten why she started. In this puzzlement, you see several feelings flash before her eyes. You see, or in her eyes, you see resentment, pain, anger, loss, utter wrath. Her breathing, labored, begins to mellow and then to escalate as her face kind of contorts in this grimace into a scowl. Her eyes become lucid again in an instant. Why would I do this? Why did they do this? Why did you do this? She looks at Zeb.
Oh, I can answer that one. We were hired.
You're kind.
We were pissed, and so we came after you. We were hired, but mostly I was
was not
pissed.
talking to you.
Well, I was talking
to
to
the
you,
human.
so
Scorn's gonna look at her frozen feet. It's like, hey, chill out.
You
That was an
think
enough word.
that everywhere you go, whatever you see is yours. You think everywhere that you put your hands and your feet. She kind of falters for a second. You think you have all rights. You had no right. Not to her.
Onwu has finished putting on the last pieces of his armor, putting the last gauntlets into place, clasping everything tight. And I think he just like kind of sits up.
before he can get up, Daisy's gonna cast Healing Word on him. No, sorry, Cure Wounds. Just give him a little bit more, a little kiss on the forehead. Oh, buddy.
Oh. Thank you. If we have no right in this world, if we have no claim to the land, if we walk around like we own everything, what does that make you? You who make others bend to your will. You who force people to do things they don't want to do. I don't think you have any right.
She has not turned her gaze away from Sebastian.
And knowing that the question was meant for him, he'll smirk and he'll just say, well, I'm human. One of the youngest races there are. These lineages, they run deep, but humans? I'm sorry, but I don't know any better. But you do. And so here we are. You want to take people and you want to put them in chains. Ain't gonna happen. Well, you probably will. You'll probably tell me that somebody else will. But the good news is that I'll always be there, like I always have. And you got nothing to say about that. Because we'll put you away. But I will be out there, making sure
that whatever it is that you thought you were going to do never comes to fruition.
No.
How old are you?
I'm old enough to remember when the elves still danced under Imranath.
And you turn to this. Shameful.
What else was there to turn to?
There's always a choice.
You get a hobby.
What? After what you did? You
what?
ruined it!
Speak your feelings. Say it from your heart. What else you got?
My home was peaceful. My people knew nothing but love. Then your kind came through.
And then look at the evil you're capable of now, though. That wasn't us. That was not us.
She again begins to falter. Was I not justified? Your kind, you humans, took everything from us. You took my mother. You did your worst to her. I escaped, but I remembered her screams. Am I not justified in my hatred?
You are. But to enact the pains that you've put upon other people? No. That is not you and yours to decide.
What I did for my people, to save them.
No, you did it for yourself. Selfish reasons. You can't live with your pain. Place it on others. I know something about that.
She looks at Scorn. What of you? What were you going to do?
You talk about all your family dying. Well, guess the fuck what? You ain't alone, asshat. That happened to me. Entire tribe killed. You know who did it? Couple humies. Do I hate all humans? No. One of my best friends right here is a human.
Hi.
But no, I don't go around getting revenge on everyone that wasn't involved just because of their race. Guess what?
Perhaps you should. It was me. That's why I asked you. What now? Do you want your revenge? Kill me then.
What do you mean?
Wait, pause.
That human looks at you the same way.
Time out. What? I swore I just blinked. What happened?
She turned to Scorn specifically to elicit a reaction from him. She said she knew that his tribe was killed. It was at her command, more or less, and told him to enact his vengeance. Is that not what you are trying to do? Enact your vengeance? Then do it.
Of course, but not against the entire race. And what do you mean you were there?
You remember.
I remember 3 big goons and some broad that I scalded in the face with some makeshift acid before I learned what the fuck I was doing. You telling me that's you?
She says, sorry, perhaps this would be better. I forgot. I've worn 1,000 faces. Masks are not so easy to remove every time. She struggles, pulls against a magic that begins to fade, and you see burns across her face, down her body.
Zeb kicks his shield on the ground immediately to where he like catches it on his arm. He just looks at Scorn and he just goes, Don't
what, Zeb?
Don't
fall for it.
So
It's
you,
not worth it.
you, beautiful. You're the one who killed my family. The entire tribe of the Muckwalkers who didn't attack people at random. They lived in peace. They even went to towns to make barter and business. They didn't ambush anyone. They didn't attack anyone. They left everyone the hell alone. But you, and whoever it was, came and slaughtered all of them. Why? Why?
You rebelled against the corrupted king, your creator.
How did we rebel?
You turned from his design. And you! She looks to Inaka. Do you not also want vengeance?
Vengeance? For vengeance, I have my own reasons. What do you imagine I think?
I can only imagine that you were of the few that escaped.
She just kind of slowly turns her head, looking at her.
Oh yes, I have been told of your conversation with the Gentkin in the mines of Hildorin.
Zeb. Knock her out.
Then kill me.
be better. This person is only whispering poison because they can never be who we are.
Oh, I won't kill you. Your life is not mine to take. But
Then whose?
for him, but for him, she points to Scorn, and for my family, there is a debt of pain to be paid. And Zeb, you know how I feel about being paid. You too,
Okay.
Daisy.
Please. This person does not deserve my mercy, nor yours. But this individual is trying to rile us up on purpose.
Scorn's going to look directly at Zeb.
For you, I make this promise. I won't kill her.
There's
But
no
I
need
want
for
to hear-
anyone. Sorry, go ahead.
But I want to hear everything before I make a move. But she won't die by my hand.
Nor mine.
There's no need for anyone to explode out of anger. You should know something of explosions. The Iron Lion.
Zeb,
Run
we
away.
really can just knock her out. We
You
can
ju-
knock her out right now. Just a quick tap on the noggin.
He interrupts her and says, Anyanwu, Solar Sun, we have the documentation. We know how to make sure whatever happened was not your fault. And your entire people, you can go back to a normal life. Whatever this individual could say about such a horrendous past amounts to nothing. Next to the fact that you have people here in this room, friends, who would literally fight to the death while you lay there.
She once again says, "But life will never be the same for you. They will never look at you the same. And how could they? You've grown up. You've lived for years without any family. And what will you go back to? No home, no mother, no father. Kind of like your friend, the spoon bandit something.
If you're going to try to insult and goad me, you should at least try to get my name right. Gosh.
Spoon Bandit's one of the better ones. though.
Sorry,
I do like that one.
you weren't one that was important enough for me to keep up with.
Nope.
I love that.
Rude.
So unbothered. Somebody ought to be in this conversation.
I do like to
Right.
try and fly under the radar a little bit. But you're flying real close to the sun right now because we spared your life not out of mercy. And you're
No.
this close to my friend here biting you in the face, and it's not gonna leave a scar like the last one. So you need to stop. I apologize if I'm not as eloquent as I am famed to be. I'm a little bit tired and pretty fucking pissed off.
Reasonably so.
Zeb, put our hands together.
That I can do.
Daisy's gonna take off her boot, and she's gonna strip off her sock, and she's gonna shove it in Vesna's mouth, and then put her boot back on.
First off, gross, but I like it. Secondly,
Thank you.
When her hands are clasped together, I'm gonna put a unbreakable adhesive on her hands.
Ah, yeah, fair.
That's
I don't have handcuffs.
Okay,
That aren't fuzzy.
she It doesn't take her long to spit out the sock. Like, it's gross. It's just kind of a reaction, like, you know.
No, it's a really big sock. It's wadded up in there. It would be pretty difficult to just spit out.
I mean, to be fair, the tongue is the strongest muscle in the body.
I'm gonna take some rope and
Semantics,
tie it
guys.
around her mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
She's not spitting out this sock.
Well, she spits it out the first time, and and
Let's,
she
let's
says,
make sure that the individual can breathe at least.
Yeah. She's got a nose. You have a nose, right? That's not just like more magic. Oh, hold on. She'll take the sock out of her mouth again. You can breathe through that nose?
Daisy, wait.
Okay, good.
She still owes Scorn an explanation.
You can do that.
I just want to
later,
know
right?
why you slaughtered my family. To what purpose?
it was the corrupted king's will.
Corrupted king's will to slaughter innocents. Cool.
You're not innocent to him. You
you're
betrayed
not
his very
innocent to
purpose
me.
for creating you.
I'm a muck walker. I walk my own fucking path, and I'm going to stab her in the neck with a syringe.
I immediately reacted with. I'm gonna react with shield up if I'm able to.
I'm not killing her.
I'm still just trying.
I'll save you that because Anaka reacts at the same time. Zeb, I will not allow you to interfere.
In general, chat and Discord is what I just injected her with.
Okay.
Zeb shrugs you off hard as possible and walks away.
Within this ice that's overtaken her lower half, she begins to writhe in pain, like very like Cruciatus curse in Harry Potter. She is silent. Aside from the occasional faltering guttural grunt, like that kind of hesitation sound you make when you're in excruciating pain. And then let's see.
It does no damage.
Yep. Additionally, victim suffered. Her eyes lose their focus. She looks straight out, begins to weep. You're not sure what hallucination she's seeing until she begins to call out for her mother. She begins to scream for them to stop.
Zeb, I can't undo this.
Sebastian's already gone.
She swears to her mother that she will get revenge by whatever means necessary. This goes on for minutes.
It wouldn't. Daisy's just gonna try and knock her out. I can't fix any poisoning.
Do you have a lesser restoration or a heal spell? It says it can be neutralized by
Healing. It'll be neutralized by a healing spell.
Mm-hmm. That's what it says.
Okay. Then yeah, I would just cast Healing Word, level 1.
I can't counter that.
The weeping does not stop. The screaming does. She cries out, "Don't you dare call me a monster!"
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you just feel the pain that I have in a few seconds that I've lived these last couple years? Go fuck yourself.
Daisy's gonna put the sock back in her mouth, tie a rope around it so she can't spit it out. Just drag her back. That's not justice. That hurts
I'm gonna
no
turn
one
her
but
into the
you.
council. Like I
Okay.
said, I'm not gonna kill her.
The debt's been paid.
Okay. All of you in this area, so basically all but Zeb, hear in your minds, because a sock has been put in her mouth. And now what? You take me to the council. You think that your hands are any less stained with blood?
How many people can do this fucking thing?
It's kind of
For
common.
the love of Anaka, please, without torture, just knock her unconscious.
Ah, fine. Stunning strike.
Okay.
That is a DC 14 con save, and I'll do that
I
however
mean-
long it needs to.
Yeah, narratively, like this, she can't defend against it. Like it wouldn't make sense. Yeah. Okay. So, Zeb, where did you go?
I would have gone out past all the bodies, outside that little room, up the stairs, up to the top room with all the other bodies, recounted all of the blood, and I probably just would have sat outside the front of the building, just like probably taken a helmet from somebody, put it down, and just sat on it. And he's just spinning his sword, waiting for them to come out.
I've got her thrown over my shoulder.
Anwu.
And-
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
Anwu. We haven't heard from you in a couple minutes. What is Anwu doing during all of this?
Anwu's trying his best to save face right now. It helps to have a helm with a mask or whatever you will over it. But he's very slow. He's fine, fully back, I think, to a good HP. He's not hurting, but he's sluggish. It looks like he's kind of just like lost, wandering the room. You see, like, there's a clear goal, get this person, out of here. And you see him, like, walk, slightly towards a corner and kind of shake that off and pull up the rear of the pack. And as he passes one of you, someone, they might hear him just go, "She didn't kill my mom. She didn't kill my mom." And he just kind of meanders around this place, trying to follow, but getting lost.
Scorn's going to put his hand on your shoulder.
You didn't kill your mom.
Somebody did.
But never blame yourself. Blaming yourself never fixes anything. Trust me. You're a good kid. I joke about how I call you the Cowardly Lion and Tin Man and all that, but I'm glad to have fought by your side. Because I know good people. I know bad people. You're not bad. Anyone who's ever known you would be honored to have known you.
Duh.
I've tried really, really, really hard to get, I guess, where I am today. I want to be a hero, like all of you. But that determination has come from knowing that I probably was a very bad person. I was the only one there with her. And if that moment in my life made me who I am right now, if doing something really bad then made me really good now, then I'll own it. But if she killed my mom, she shouldn't be here. If she killed my mom and made me feel like this all my life, then she shouldn't be here. If that's what she decided to do, turn everyone who looks like me or you, turn their lives into a living hell, that's what she decides to do with her time and her power. If I was a bad person and I killed her, this is what I did. I made it right. And if that's what she decides to do, she shouldn't be here.
That is not our goal to make, Anwu.
Anwu. That's exactly what she's saying right now. If we start taking all of these responsibilities into our hands, we only further that chain of destruction. It sucks to be the one to break the cycle, But if we kill her, we're doing the same thing she's doing.
She has many crimes to answer for than just the ones that she's committed against us. I don't have a problem collecting on a debt of pain. But as for the rest of it,
Is that what justice is? Waiting for someone to do something horrific and then smacking their hands for it?
Justice is... Well, I guess Zeb would know a little bit more about it than I would, but no, I don't think that's what justice is. I think... Well, I wish we didn't need justice in the first place. My goal is to stop anybody from needing it to begin with.
there's not much I can say on it. You all know I don't believe in this thing you call justice. There is only the levelity of good things versus bad things. There is always this balance. For as much light, there is dark. For as much dark, there is light. The two must even out. Do you feel you've done more good than she's done bad, Anwu?
She's done a lot of bad.
That doesn't answer my question.
She has run evil. She is a harbinger of evil.
She absolutely is, and that is why she is being brought before the council. And I just dump her unceremoniously on the ground to get a break for a minute.
Stretching.
I asked, have you put as much good into the world as she has put in dark?
I'm not trying to be the devil's advocate. This is just how my brain works. I truly believe that the passion she puts into evil, I put more into good. I am more passionate about bringing good into this world than she is passionate about bringing evil.
Then
However,
you have done all you can.
She's had more means, more resources to bring way more evil into this world than any good I could have brought. My intention is to fill this world with good. Her intention is to fill it with evil. She has made a lot more headway in her way than mine. I'm just saying.
You'll spend the rest of your life out doing what you can. She'll spend the rest of hers, pick her up again, throw over my shoulder, in a cell. And I start walking out because this place is short and I'm tall.
Yes.
True. It's true.
Yeah. I think Anwu will just kind of sit with that last remark and continue, walking to the Republic, wherever they meet.
Daisy's gonna give him a hug first.
He stops and gives you a big old lion's hug.
Yeah. A little cold, a little sharp.
Walking outside, and Akam will kind of turn to Zeb. Are we all right?
He stands up, dusts himself off, sheathes his sword, sees that you have her over your shoulder, doesn't hear any screaming, and just says,
I nullified its effects.
She's alive.
I'm sorry, Zeb. I didn't know what they were gonna do. And then I didn't know what to do.
Sometimes.
And I nullified it as soon as I could.
Sometimes the only choice you have is to not make one. So, I chose to now make one. Or at least remove myself from a scenario where I just didn't want to be a part of something that didn't sit well with me. Because sometimes the people in the room who need to make a decision isn't you. And so it takes a lot for me to know that sometimes. So that one's on me.
I don't blame them. I wouldn't say I would have made a different decision, but
I would certainly hope not, little Miss Cloud of Daggers.
He'll,
I don't think that it was the right one.
Sebastian walks up to Scorn and looks at him and he goes, I'd blame them. But only because I know who they are. And because if it were me, I'd have done the same thing.
I truly want her to suffer. But we are not the only ones she hurt. If she dies now, everyone else doesn't get the satisfaction. She's going to the council. And whether it be a public execution or a statement from the Lord of wherever the fuck we are, people will know what she did, who she did it to, and then they're going to see what happens afterwards. If I killed her now, and Naka killed her now, you killed her now, Anwu killed her now, and even Daisy, they don't get the justice. They'll get it secondhand. It's not enough.
Zeb will put a gentle hand on Scorn's shoulder and say, I'm sorry I stressed you out in that moment.
I don't have the best record of telling the truth.
I know.
You
But-
don't exactly lie either.
When it comes to you guys, I don't lie. I joke, I kid, I stretch. But when I look you in the eyes and tell you I'm not going to do something, I told you I wasn't going to kill her.
Oh, I know.
Doesn't mean I'm not going to make her suffer for a little bit. Did Daisy shorten it a little sooner than I wanted? Sure, but I'm still not going to be mad at her.
I just personally don't have a taste for the torture antics, so that's me. That's just me, though. So shall we get this individual where they need to be?
Let's get them to the council. Let's say our piece. Maybe we can help emphasize the decision.
Anwu, how you doing?
You're
Muted.
He takes just a second to to think back. No. I'm good. I think there's an interesting bit of power in showing the world how such an evil deed can be made right. I think all of you make great points, and I think the best amount of good we can do is to show everyone that evil will not prevail, that it will be stopped. It's weird, but like we shouldn't. It seems evil coming out of my mouth, so like just know that I don't really mean it like that, but we should make an example of her for good, not like crazy anything, but like I don't know. We should show other bad people that we're not going to put up with it.
You're damn right we won't.
Did you hear that, Vesna? You're going to be inspirational.
She gets her dream after all. Wow. Everybody wins.
I wish I had a little Twisted Sister to cue up.
What a
Well,
good
we're
way.
not going to take it. At that, you take her to the council. And as you recall, most everyone was kind of in a bit of lockdown during all of this. And you all sort of alone were tasked were made a task force to carry out what needed to be done. You make your way to the ancient Gentkin building that stands as the civil here. Make your way.
Your mic is sounding weird. Is that just me?
No, it's not just you. That's what I was saying.
Oh, I didn't even hear you.
My mic is sounding weird?
Yep.
Oh.
You're back to normal now, but you were kind of like.
Should I restart that?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said, but now you're sounding good.
Okay, so let me restart that. Then you take her to the council. You make your way through the ancient Gentkin building. Follow through its many corridors, as at this point you have become familiar. To the room that they have used as the council meeting room, the war preparation room, the planning room, the room where it happens. Dragging Vesna along on your shoulder. You see Thalrex. You see the others. You see Lady Marwyn. At this point, dressed in full plate, a regal cape behind her, bearing the symbol of Imranath. The entire group turns toward you. There is a fire in Marwyn's eyes. Somewhere between divine wrath and absolute pain and betrayal. Tears beginning to form in her eyes as she maintains a steel gaze on Vesna. What have you done? Unbind her mouth. We need to hear what she's going to say.
You're really sure?
Unbind her mouth.
Might I remind you that this individual is a prisoner.
And also a magic user. So if anybody's got counterspell,
She can't use her
they want
hands
to have
right
that
now.
ready.
Her gaze remains firm.
I understand your closeness here could cause issue. I just, again, want to remind you, individual's a prisoner.
And I would like to remind you that I, too, serve the lady. And she kind of touches her armor, kind of at the place where the cape is attached. And you see the iconography of Imara is all over her armor. And she has dealings with this one.
All right. She remains in our custody regardless, but nonetheless, let's hear. I would like to hear what she says.
The Chancellor kind of motions to one side of her, and one of the members of the council that I don't know that you've met, a Dragonborn, makes his way toward the door and shuts it behind you all. You all are welcome to stay as the trial commences, but you are not required.
Oh no, like I said, she stays in our custody until everything is like finished.
We don't want preemptive death.
And so we will be here, is what I'm saying. We'll stay. Thank you for the invitation.
Her gaze narrows, slightly, and she says, "For what you all have done for the Republic, and for your ties to the lady, I will allow that trespass once. Don't make it a practice. You're not necessarily in a place to be claiming prisoners here."
Your Honor, can I make a statement real quick?
By all means.
This vile excuse for being needs to be judged and dealt with 100%. She's hurt us, everyone in here. Who knows who all she hurt with her vile ways. All I ask is if you make this public, I want everyone in the world to see what we are going to do to this piece of shit. I want everyone to get the justice from what she did, and I want everyone that's ever decided to join her to know that we will be coming for them next. They think that she's all-powerful, but she was brought down easily. What are her underlings going to do to us?
Easily is a strong word.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I'm moving down first.
Hey,
boasting.
Bluff 100.
Boasting.
Bluff 100.
It's all boasting. All boasting.
If we emphasize, we got to a fight and we all look good after the fight, then they were like,
absolutely. They don't know the difference.
Maybe they would. No,
they don't know the
lying.
difference.
Stretching.
You gotta sell it to her.
Sell it. We gotta sell it to them.
Anyone can sell it.
To them,
So,
the people. Then you can kill this bitch.
Your concern has been taken into account by the council. I would have you know that publicity of this would be wounding not only to myself, but to faith in the Republic itself. It's not to say we will not do it, but it is a consideration.
Hey, real quick, Lady Marwyn, that comment you made about me getting one, right? I'm sorry, but that's not going to cut it. That's not leader. That's somebody who has power and wants to wield it. And I'm sorry, but I spit on that, regardless of if you wear her colors or otherwise. This individual.
I'm confused as a DM. What is?
She said that the transgression for me saying, "Hey, we have this prisoner. We're not going anywhere. She's not leaving us."
I got you. Yeah.
That whole thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then so now he's also going to say, and the fact that you also want to sweep this under the rug because she's connected to you? No. That's not a leader. That's someone who wants to hide. You sound like every other power that I have seen rise and fall for less.
I'd also like to make it clear that we came in here some time ago suspicious that there might be an enemy in the very room. The enemy turned out to be sitting right next to you. The enemy turned out to be in your wedding chamber.
Choose your next words carefully.
I think I am.
Oh no, wait.
I think he is.
I think I am. All of you are in such high power, in such high authority. You have no clue what's actually going on out there. We did all the heavy lifting for you, and here you are wanting to sweep it under the rug. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You do have an opportunity.
Tooth and nail to push this evil down, dilute this evil, make it nothing. And you really want to sit here and say, all this evil that this person does around the world, their ties to all these evil, wrong institutions. Let's make it a quiet thing. Let's not let everyone know that they should not have hope, that a better thing is coming for them. This is what you want to do. This is how people want to lead.
As I said, your concerns have been noted. We must be on with this trial. If you continue to hold us from it, you will be charged with contempt of court.
Whose court?
The court in which you stand.
Which is just a room at this point, right?
You needed our help to get
either you. She throws her hand up, and a couple of the council step forward. Either you get behind this and allow us to judge our own. Put that little bit of faith in us as we have put faith in you.
Yeah.
Or
and
we
all
will
I
have
asked,
to force you to leave.
all I asked for was that this individual stays with us, and I mean, you could be there too, but we're not leaving. That's all I was getting at. We are not putting this individual down because of the things that we have been through. We've seen their capabilities. I'm not having them get lost by your people, because I'm sorry, but
you haven't done anything.
Yeah. And you obviously know our capabilities. We have her. By the way, there's a building down there. A lot of people, a lot of dead bodies. Might want to send somebody that way. But
if I may,
yeah.
I would just like to make a small interjection here. My lady, you don't know me. You don't know anything about me, or anything about what just happened down there. 2 of us died. It was really scary. And there's nobody who understands being hurt the deepest by the person very closest to you like I do. I would suggest that we not turn this into a bloodbath. And this is absolutely not a threat, but I don't think you would come out on top. I would like to mention, you would only gain the faith of the people by showing the most honesty and transparency. By sweeping this under the rug, you turn into every tyrant and every council that you formed this council to be.
So yeah, like, and I agree, but again, I'm making a suggestion that makes us all very like. Again, we're your guard. We got this individual, but I do. In all honesty, Lady Marwyn, with her guidance and everything, do you truly just wish to sweep it under the rug? Or is there a way to come to terms?
This will.
The trial
to
will
the
commence
public.
now, with or without you.
All right, go
I
ahead.
will have you silent.
Commence her then.
They
And no, you hold on to her. You don't let her down. She could speak. She's had the sock out this whole time. I'm amazed she hasn't spoke up.
I didn't know that you
She
had,
was knocked out.
Oh yeah,
was-
she
she
was
was
unconscious.
unconscious.
Sorry.
But
I got it. And Scorn's gonna take some sulfur and put it underneath her nose.
Okay.
I got bitch.
I turn around.
Thank you.
Anwu's gonna start tutoring. Don't worry about it.
She steps forward. Vesna does. Marwyn steps back one. Not in terms of power dynamic, but in terms of stepping back in line with the council. Not as a symbol of, not as a sign of fear of Vesna, as a sign of equity with those in the council. She pauses for a very long time. Vesna stays silent. You. Was this it? All along? Was this it? And one of the members of the council steps slightly forward. The dragonborn from before. Vesna just kind of looking, eyes glazed over at the Chancellor. The Chancellor's face beginning to go red hot. And she steps back, realizing just the emotions, realizing that she had gone a bridge too far asking a personal question. This is not a personal matter. She steps back behind the others. The Dragonborn begins to read from a scroll. Vesna Marwyn. My apologies, Chancellor. That name no longer befits you. But I will not speak the name you held before. You stand trial for treason against the Merchants' Republic, for conspiracy to commit murder, and murder on multiple accounts, for espionage, for sabotage, and theft of resources. Yes, we found the ledgers, and we understand where that grain was going, along with multiple sources before. For unlawful use of magic, for pact with fiends and powers of the unholy, for collusion with foreign enemies, for endangering public safety, corruption and abuse of authority, and for heresy. A couple murmurs can be heard in the council, as you imagine they're still deciding on whether or not that's something that should have made it into the trial. What do you say for yourself? Vesna. Vesna says, you have no idea what forces I've aligned with. You say heresy. You say unlawful magic. You say pacts with fiends. But you have no clue. With the gods gone, she shoots a pointed look at the Chancellor and repeats herself. With the gods gone, there is none to protect you from the corrupted king when he comes. And he will. Should I fall, he will come for all of you. Kill me. Make his return quicker. My soul will feed him. And he will drag you all to the hells. The Dragonborn holding the scroll looks to you all. She may be bound by mouth again.
I believe Inaka made the motion to do it. So.
Yeah,
We kind of both did.
I still can see
Like
enough
the
of them.
second she goes, he's at her mouth, can be bowed again. Daisy and Naka just at the same time grab the sock.
Daisy's like sticking it, not quite down her throat, but
Oh.
a little bit more aggressive than necessary.
You just get a little bit of side eye from Naka, like, really? Really? Really?
The Chancellor once again steps forward. we would ask that the prisoner be escorted to another room while we deliberate. If you maintain her, we ask that one of you do it.
I would like to be present during the deliberations.
As many of you as would like are welcome.
So Sebastian will for sure go with Vesna.
She steps to the two of you. Opens the door. And as you are leaving, she whispers Zeb to you. Thank you. My pride, my hurt, clouded my eyes.
You're gonna carry that weight. You're gonna carry that weight for a long time. But I'm sure you can show that you're strong enough to do so.
I will push for what is right. But it is a council decision. And she closes the door behind you.
Am I missing something? I thought we were going to be present during these deliberations.
Behind
You
Zeb.
are.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm
I
with
thought
you, so.
Yeah, no. But she closed the door behind Zeb.
Yeah, like it was just me and
Yep.
Vesna who went into this little like
Holding area.
yeah.
I thought that we were like splitting up and walking away. And I was like, well, hold on a second.
No, no, just Zeb.
And Onwu.
Oh, and Onwu. Yes. Excellent. Several minutes pass, and to be entirely, honest, most of it is done in whispers. No one says it's because you're there. But, I mean...
Hey, guys, this is like where it's supposed to be like deliberating. But I can't hear anything. And it would be super great if we could all hear all of the deliberations that are happening. I didn't see... Sorry, that was about even really snarky. I'm gonna leave it at that.
What do you wish for us to take into consideration more than what you have already said?
Oh no, I wasn't asking to be heard. I was asking to hear. I know you all are feeling a little bit awkward because you're kind of called out right now, but I would just like for everybody to speak up a tiny bit more so that we could understand what's going on in these deliberations.
I'm glad that you would like that. And
She's gonna sit real close, uptight with the guy that said that. Just right next to him, almost shoulder to shoulder.
And I stand in between that guy and Daisy.
Well, hold on. Are you in here, or did you go with them?
Onwu went with Zeb.
No, Onwu stayed.
I'm sticking by Daisy.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
excellent.
I'm
Just-
not
just me
what I
and
initially
Vesna.
thought. Then I thought somebody said that you went with Zeb. Okay.
But I'm with Daisy.
I want to hear what they're talking about.
I mean, you could hear without moving closer. They're whispering, but it's not that large a room. I was just making it clear that they were not intending to. They were allowing you in the room. They were not intending to
Include us. Right. Daisy, absolutely not one for subtlety. And she doesn't like being left out.
Sure. I mean, you're welcome to move closer. They do not raise their voices. You hear several different sentences being kind of considered. They have considered in this conversation execution, both private and public. They have included exile with magical assurance that these things would not happen again.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry to interrupt again. I don't know if I missed it or if I just am remembering something wrong. I didn't hear anything in the charges about enslavement. Was there... Did we miss that?
No, I actually, I neglected that. I was reviewing the notes and totally forgot that she... Oh.
I could swear that she did.
I mean, as a wraith, just like...
Right,
we
yeah.
saw her. We saw her.
Yeah.
I mean, and Naka clocked that. Yeah.
No, yeah, the mines. Which would also have been... I forgot about the mines low-key, because the episode of Hildoran, I just kind of wanted to block from my memory. It just was very uncomfy. So that was entirely on me, not on the council. It would have been there. We can move forward as if it were.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that was entirely on me. Dang. They have included life imprisonment, and they also have included an execution of the pact. Basically, a magical attempt to sever the connection between her and who she calls the corrupted king. With the knowledge that the process would be such that she might not come out of that. Kind of one of those, well, if it fails, then it's execution, right? At this point, once these several things have been discussed, the Chancellor looks to you all. And what would you have of these? Were you to have control of her fate?
Well, I had this idea that it would be a little bit of a public display, reading all of her crimes, with an audience, as big of an audience as we can get. We all know, love an audience. And then after we do that,
been taken into account, and whatever happens, it can be made public. Please, you have been heard on that front.
right. So anyway, continuing what I was saying, I think that we should have a public display of what it is that she did with her present, and then lock her away for good, because as she already said, her death would feed some kind of demon or something, and that's not beneficial to anybody. So
Her death, one way or the other, will happen. She is not an elf herself. She has human blood. She will die, and it will be sooner.
That's crazy.
Than what I had hoped.
Well, then it'll happen one day. She's a human? I'm sorry. That...
Why do you think she hates them so much?
I don't know. I can't really fathom having that much hatred in my heart. It doesn't... I don't know. But I think personally that she should be publicly humiliated and then locked away for the. How long do humans live? Like 5 more years or something? I don't know.
Not that long.
She has human blood. She will live maybe another 100 years. I don't know.
Oh, then leave her in there for that century. Just throw some oatmeal or something at her if she gets hungry.
I would also like to add that a part of this display should be a warning to others that follow in her footsteps.
Yes, that was part of the idea of the public. Yeah.
A warning and a caution, and maybe even a statement if you truly believe it, that you are against her causes and you will seek retribution for them. If you fully believe in that, I'm not quite sure if you do.
The human chancellor kind of looks a little bit like confused that you would accuse her of, like, you know, being in league with a group that, like, hates humans.
I see her confusion and I say, sorry, it just hadn't been super clear to me that you were. That's all. If you 100% are, we're just saying.
She told me she denounced. She told me she rejected. She was appalled by those groups, those practices. I didn't know. Of course, I don't. Perhaps, if I have not made myself clear, it is because in a moment of just utter sincerity and vulnerability, says, still love her. And I hate what she's done. I denounce everything that has been done through her family's wealth, through our resources. I feel betrayed by what has gone on. God damn it, I still love her. And perhaps that makes this all difficult for me, but know this, that there is no lack of clarity in my vision for what has been done wrong. I have stood on the side of those like you, and you, and you, all of you, for a very long time. Did you forget that your first encounter with our council was one of rescuing those from Hildoran? Did you forget that?
You don't have to remind us.
I remember every day. It's just interesting that that doesn't always come across in our meetings with you. That seems like a stepping stone for you and not the main goal, which is fine. I just want that to be clear.
Our main goal is that there will be no difference. Yes, freedom is a stepping stone on that goal. But I think it's a much grander goal. For there to be nothing to separate you from me. Do you not?
I agree. And as an upcoming republic, what was your first step, this first success in defeating this evil force? It wasn't holistically for freedom. It was silence for power. So I'm just saying, it would be nice to publicly and loudly denounce it. That's all I'm saying. I know how you feel. I know what you feel. The world doesn't.
At this point, she doesn't even respond to that, because honestly, she's sick of saying that like your concern on that has been heard. Like she genuinely, like she alone doesn't have control of that. So she's kind of at the point where she's like, how many times do I have to tell them? You know, obviously, you know, in character, I'm certain that like, you know, the inner workings of the council is not something that you all know. So, but just as a letting you in on why she's not responding, that's why. But she turns back. If nothing else on her sentence, we will finish the deliberations now. Does anyone else have anything to say on which of those sentences she deserves, should have, or is necessary for the situation, etc.?
Inaka doesn't really look up. She's just kind of looking at the floor. She says, treachery should be dealt with publicly and harshly. And that's all I'll say.
A couple more minutes go by. At this point, the discourse becomes not theory, but attempts at a true concrete plan. And when the rubber meets the road, arguments happen. When things are theory, all things are okay. All things are on the table. When things become concrete, they become real, arguments begin to happen. Arguments primarily of precedent. What will be the stance of the Republic? Will they set a precedent of violence? Can they risk having such a dangerous person alive? Kind of on two opposite ends of that spectrum. Eventually, I heard life imprisonment from you all. And then Inaka, I might have missed the second half of what you said. You said treason should be...
Treachery should be dealt with publicly and harshly, was what she said.
Okay. And then Anwu just wanted to make it clear to the world what the position of the court was. I'm gonna roll a die. And I'm gonna look at my things here real quick. It is a D4. Let's roll a D4.
Do we get advantage because I'm so good in persuasion?
Well, I mean,
Is
it's
this-
an option?
I don't know how to do advantage on a D4, but I mean,
He's making a roll for the options that we all presented to him.
It was
exactly.
a joke. I was
Yeah.
totally
Josh, did you see my message in Discord?
I did not. I've been getting so many Discord notifications that
We're all like,
It's okay, like, take your time.
honestly,
It can be after.
it was in. Yeah, it might have to be after. So they decide first that I should say it kind of in a bit of order here. They decide that they will first make use of her funds as she made use of theirs, of her resources as she stole theirs. They decide that they will draft a letter to the noble family of which she is a part, requesting funds for the operations of which she was a part. These funds will be used in a new how should I say this? Section of the budget, a new, what do you call that? Like a new fund, anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
a new section of the budget that they will begin planning out. Specifically, they had been drawing from the general fund. It is fund. They'd been drawing from the general fund for freedom and rescue attempts. They will now make it a separate fund entirely so that it has its own specific allotment. The first money in this fund will be from her family, from her resources. They will then attempt a public execution of the pact. This will likely be an excruciating process. If she dies publicly. It will be a harsh dealing. If she survives, and they hope she does, truly, then then her soul will not go to Abelos, the corrupted king. She will be rendered powerless in terms of magic. They will be seen in light of a merciful judgment, and she will live out the rest of her life in prison. And that is the ruling of the council. Do you all have anything to say or add as Sebastian and the prisoner are called back in? And I will message you that, Zeb, Kevin. No?
It's acceptable to me.
Okay. Actually, I'm just going to say it then, because I thought maybe things were going to happen while I was typing. Kevin, unfortunately, I have lost that in my notes. So, that is, because I was also looking for it earlier. I thought it was useful in this specific moment, because she is no longer a Marvel. I believe I said it in like episode.
I know it doesn't matter, but essentially while all the deliberations going on, Zeb pulls out his water skin. He takes a little drink. He undoes Vesna's mouth stuff and says, Can I offer you something to drink? You thirsty at all? When was the last time you ate? I have a bead of nourishment here. It ain't much. I keep it on me for emergency purposes if you'd like it, but it's all I really have.
So you can try to sway me to see you as more than what you are?
No,
More than a monster?
I am what I am. You know that. And I know that. I don't begrudge you what you are either. Whatever that is. And I'm not even talking about your lineage. I've done horrible things. I know. That's why I spend every day of my life trying to do better than the last. I don't blame you for what you did. You're a symptom. You're not the problem. I'm just... Well, if this is the last kindness you'll see, I'd rather it be shown. Because that's who I am. That's it. You can hate me all you want, and I'm okay with that. But I don't hate you. So are you hungry or thirsty? It's okay to say no. You probably will, but the offer stands.
As you kind of observe her, you see her skin appears dry. As she goes to open her mouth to speak, her lips are cracking. The exhaustion of not only casting, but the form she took has wrought havoc on her body, specifically in terms of hydration. And at this point, she does begin to her muscles lose their tightness. She slumps. I don't understand. But I thirst greatly.
I have a bead of refreshment too, if you'd like that instead. I know my lips have touched this, so would you prefer that?
She just kind of looks at you, her mouth open. You do see that the sudden kind of pull has popped open some of the cracks and they begin to bleed around the corners of her mouth. She just looks at you.
He'll gently sort of like lay her back and like hold her and like place the bead of refreshment in her mouth, and while he does, he gives his last 5 points of lay on hands to her. And as he does, he just sort of like, it's just almost like a quick little like jolt of electricity, sort of like a static shock almost, and he's just it was always for Imranath's beauty.
As she is refreshed by the bead, you see the wounds, kind of like the cracks on her mouth begin to heal themselves. She becomes somewhat hydrated. You see one tear run down her cheek. There's a knock on the door, when you were summoned back to where the trial was, where the deliberations have happened.
He just says, I do apologize, but I have to put the mouth thing back on. I'll be gentle. And he puts in her, he sort of reaches into like the small of her like belt line, and he'll put the bead of nourishment, and he goes, that's for later. If it comes to that. And he'll gently put the thing on her and then open the door.
You are called back in. As you enter, Vesna steps forward. You all see she's dazed. As if she doesn't even understand what room she's in anymore. She just kind of looks straight forward, eyes glazed over, as the sentence is read to her. It doesn't even seem to register. It's as if the words kind of bounce off her skin. The Chancellor steps forward and says, Do you maintain the prisoner until tomorrow?
Aye.
She looks at all of you as she says this, not just them.
Where?
Well, I assume they have facilities here.
We have a prison. It's ancient, hasn't been used in years. It's never been used since we made our place here. Still, you may have its use. And she begins to say something, checks herself for a second. No, I will not call you that yet. Fellows of the lineages of this world, I wish to make an apology from the entire council. Times as they are tense. Emotions are high. We are seen as treasonous on one side of our sea and treasonous on the other. One of our own has sought our harm and the harm of all those outside the elven lineage. I pray you will pardon our behavior. Eventually.
I believe you. And I forgive you. But it's not me that matters. You'll have to convince everybody else. And I don't mean the people in this room.
Her chest kind of, as she breathes in and inhales sharply, we know. And you have been right. I'm sorry for my pride earlier. I look forward to seeing more of you all, should we have that pleasure. And look forward further to the time, should it ever come, should you ever allow it, that we might call you friends. But not yet. Not yet. There is much to prove first. Then we will see you on the morrow.
Who's gonna be standing watch over her?
Oh, I got that.
Because that's what I figured. Because we should, if you're gonna be doing it, we may want to request some additional guards, because you've been a little bit hecked up,
I'm okay.
and I'm not standing guard over her.
I'm okay. I got I appreciate the concern, but I got it covered.
I know you got like some weird stuff going on with your life force, but you do have to like sleep too. I know for a fact you have to sleep.
Yeah, absolutely, and I will. I promise you that.
Just make sure to hydrate and eat some good protein after a battle like that, okay?
Oh goodness, yeah. There better be food. Lady Marwyn, could I request that and he's sort of like behind Vesna, like sort of holding onto her, and he's like, can I request, and he looks down and he goes, preferably not Sarian red, but can we get a nice elvish wine and an elvish meal of the highest quality, please?
I assume I know the purpose of that meal.
Well, of course.
Okay. She looks at you somewhat amazed, with a great deal of respect. Tears once again kind of begin to form in her eyes, making them a bit more than misty. It will be done.
I appreciate that. Now, if you don't mind, can you show us where this cell is, and bring a second bunk?
Yeah, and you absolutely are shown. Marwyn herself asks to be excused from that responsibility. And one of the other council members shows you where it is. And you all pass the night.
Daisy's not following. She doesn't care where the cell is.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well. I think I make a lick towards Daisy, and Anu has no care to see any further of this process.
Sure. I specifically was referring to Zeb, but anyone who wants to see the cell can. I just didn't honestly figure anybody else would.
Sebastian takes off all, like, the majority of his armor. He keeps his duster on, and like his, just what are they, like common like pants essentially, and his sword and everything he gives them to whatever guards are out there, and he goes into the cell with her and closes the door. And he just pulls up a chair right in front of the door, and he just sits.
Just realized I'm muted. Is there is there any last thing, Zeb, that you want to learn from Vesna? Otherwise, we can just say kind of conversation happens if you wish it. If not, it doesn't. Is there anything else? Any last threads that that Zeb would feel needed to be tied up?
Yeah, sure, I'll ask a question. I'll just ask, is there any point where you had gotten and you felt that you were in too deep? And that you wanted out? Or did the hatred just fuel you?
I only hated those like you at first. At first, the first Fae to die at my hands was the first non-human. We count them as one of ours. But he had other plans. I knew from then, if I did not hate, he would take me. I had to. At that point, it was my only method to survive.
What what happened so long ago? That pushed you to this?
I have blood like yours. Many, where I'm from, have blood like yours now. No one chose it. My mother didn't choose it.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
That's not the end of it. That's just the beginning, but I'm not going to recount everything. Not now. Time for reflection is long past. It is now time to simply accept.
If it was ever somebody under my watch, I want you to know my troop killed men like that. Men who lust for war. They don't belong in it. They forget the purpose. So I'm sorry, again, that you had to go through that. And for what it's worth, I won't forget the lessons of your hatred. Things that it can teach me. Things that it can teach the world. I know you want to be better, and you want it to be better, but it's stupid to hope that everything could be simple, right? I am human after all.
When you've gone as far as I have gone, there is no want, no hope, no wish for better. There is no better. There is no worse. There is power. I can't get away from that if I tried.
But power resides where people believe it resides. That's the beauty of it.
Perhaps one day that will be true. But not in this age. Not after the shattering. The gods are gone. Times for goodness and times for powers in love and kindness. They're long past. The demons come. They are here. And no matter what you do, you cannot stop them.
Maybe not all of them.
To accept.
Maybe not all of them. But the little that we do know of each other, you and I both know I'm a try. And as long as somebody is there to try, that's hope. And I'm sorry, but you can't kill hope.
There is, throughout this conversation, and whatever other conversations might happen during this night, something within her eyes. Honestly, no one better than you to understand what this is. It's a wistfulness. A deep, hidden, and buried, deep-seated longing that what you're saying might be true. But at some point in the conversation, she trails off. Something is touched on that triggers her defense mechanisms. She begins to dwell on, you suspect, the corrupted king and his influence. That light dies within her once again.
Do they ever get that meal?
Yeah,
okay.
They do.
Over the meal, or like after it, and like once she gets to the point where she's like shutting down, he'll simply like lay down on the dirt next to her and just say, "May you have sweet dreams, Lady Vesna," and he'll say her elvish last name.
I really wish I had that. That seems very meaningful at this moment.
And he'll simply just roll over again. He's in front of the gate and just sleep.
Are any of the rest of you doing anything this night?
I think Onwu just like, who knows if Daisy is leading or Onwu is, but they definitely would be hand in hand, just like so tired.
Oh my god, I cast so many spells today.
I casted, well, I mean, I created all that I could.
I didn't keep count. You may have cast more spells than me today.
Oh, I don't know. I never count. But
You know, it didn't really matter what they decided. We were going to tell everybody anyway, right?
yeah,
I mean, you know me, I never shut up, so I can't keep a secret to save my life.
no, you can't.
Except for yours. I always kept the lion's secret really well.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone ever figured that one out.
Multiple people definitely figured that out. Although that offer still stands. I can look like a bright pink Leonin, and nobody's going to be looking at you if they're walking next to me.
Thank you. That maybe I'll use that one day.
Super easy. It just takes like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Because it takes a full action for me to
Oh
change
yeah.
my shape.
Yeah. You said this. Yeah, you said this before. And yeah, I think I can't remember if we had like a different place we were staying at besides whatever the council gave us. I can't remember. It doesn't matter at this point. I think Onwu would like the comfort of like a just a crappy tavern. Like I think he just wants a crappy tavern like room. And yeah, just like quickly falls asleep.
It's no pile of hay in an old shed, but it works.
Scorn, Inaka.
As we're walking out of the building, as Scorn and Naga are walking out of the building, she just kind of offhandedly, "You didn't tell me you lost your entire family."
No, I didn't. That's how it all got started. I used to be just a cook. I used to help feed my family. And one day, she, with several others, came in, slaughtered everyone. I was the only one left alive, only because rubble fell on me and they thought I was dead.
Small
seen 'em all.
miracles.
There are many in the tribe that deserve to live more than me. None of us deserved what happened. I got lucky. And day in and day out, of all the trials and tribulations and, dealing with that hag in the woods, training me, keeping me alive. I prayed for death. I prayed for revenge. But now, I just want to live. I wish I could tell them all I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough to stop her.
At that, she stops him, kind of like grabs him by the front of his shirt, pulls him in for a kiss, and sets him back down briefly. Says, "Don't ever think you are not strong. Do not ever think you did not deserve to live. Because you are all that is helping me push forward now."
You are
I
my
didn't-
reason.
I didn't do what I did in that basement because I wanted revenge. I could give a rat's ass less. She's a piece of shit that deserves to die, and that's not my problem to deal with. I did what I did for you.
And I can never thank you as much as I can ever say sorry to them.
You'll never have to. It's no more your fault for surviving than mine.
There's so much I could do to her. So much I've learned. So much I acquired over time. And none of it's fitting. I have one thing I could do to her that would be fitting, but I'm not going to put people through that aren't willing to put them through that.
She's not worth it anymore, Caplayada.
Let's go get a drink.
It sounds like a plan.
It's been a long day, my prickly pear.
Shitty tavern, dirty glass, bottom shelf. Fuck yeah.
And then a room afterwards.
100%. I assume the thing that you sent me was the thing that you said you thought maybe fitting. Scorn? Will?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to read that now. I just realized you'd sent it to me.
If you just scroll up in private chat, you get the gist of what I'm going to do.
A big old chunk.
That's something I never thought of. The two that have survivor's remorse. That's interesting.
Trauma bonding, bro.
Stronger relationships.
Oh.
It would require some assistance on Seb's part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh.
You get the travel companion.
You messed Josh up. He's going. Oh, shit.
Thought outside the box.
I'm trying to figure out how this would work. So it would definitely require some help from Zeb, and it would most likely have to be done like at some point before they take her to the
My hope was that he got to be the one to do that public execution.
Mm.
He's getting to bond with her. He should be the one that has the right to take her from this world.
So sorry, I might
But execution wasn't the line that they chose.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, then I was clear. I thought maybe I'd messed up and like not said that right. Okay. So do you want to try that at all?
If she's not being executed, then no. I'm not going to force Zeb to kill when he doesn't want to kill. If he comes to me saying that he's going to do that, then 100%.
Sure. Okay. All right, excellent. So you all pass the night in the various ways that you see fit. The next morning comes. In the inn, the tavern inn where you all are staying, you can already hear the crowds gathering. Zeb, you wake up. And Vesna is gone. I'm kidding. It's
I didn't even flinch because I was like, nah.
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 no, honestly, I don't even think Zeb. Did you even sleep?
I would have slept very little. At most, it would have been like a short rest. But like he definitely would have caught some Z's. But it's sort of that like that wartime. I'm just gonna like catch a like nod off real quick, and then you feel yourself go, and you're like,
right,
yeah, that.
Daisy didn't sleep well either, but we'll get back to that.
What happened to you?
Slept like a rock after a couple hours.
Stiff.
Okay, so the next morning comes. You all begin to wake. You hear the crowds gathering. Zeb, guards come to the cell, or rather, more guards come to the cell. Will you be escorting the prisoner with us?
Absolutely. She's not leaving my side.
Regardless, they've asked for you at the ceremony itself, so you're to be there. I just wanted to make sure you're coming with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Without question, you got it. Yeah. Just can I have a moment with her real quick? Just a quick little. And he goes over to her and says, "Hey, can you survive this?"
You don't know.
Do you want to?
I don't know.
I respect
Like
that
I said,
answer.
there are weights to carry. Mine will be great.
And it should be. But you knew that.
As you continue talking or finish talking, at that point, she tunes out. Her eyes glaze back over, and she walks toward the guards.
All right.
The rest of you make your way to the square, and
Well,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Daisy didn't sleep very well at all. And when Enru wakes up, she's just sitting on the end of his bed.
Are you all right?
Yesterday was really scary.
Yeah.
You almost died.
Yeah, I thought I did. That's why I know it seemed dumb, but I mean that's why I wanted to take off the suit and give it to you. I didn't think I would be of much use, but my suit.
Do you love me?
Yes. What? Yes.
That's really scary.
Not as scary as dying.
I have to agree with that. That's pretty true. I don't think I'm ready for that.
I'm definitely not.
But what happens if you die?
I don't know.
Just don't die, okay?
I won't.
And don't go anywhere.
I won't. And he gets up, a scrawny little lion, out of bed, and just like inches closer to you. Still nervous, shaking a little bit.
Oh. And she's just gonna lay her head on his shoulder. I don't think I'm ready for anything like that. Not after everything that's already happened. But we will be, as long as neither of us dies.
We have each other's backs. We always do.
Yeah. Of course.
That won't change anything.
No, never.
Promise? You hands out a paw?
Yeah. Of course I promise.
That might be
And I
the
love you too. Okay, let's go watch Vesna probably die.
Well, that's not the cutest thing I've ever seen.
I thought that was kind of cute.
It's like that. It's like in Pitch Perfect when she's like, "I set fires to feel joy." You guys like that's adorable.
A crazy pull from Pitch Perfect 2. Anyways,
Right?
let's go watch it. Let's go watch it.
You're right.
Let's go watch a trial.
So you all make your way to the square where there are hundreds, if not thousands, gathered, not only in the square, but in the neighborhoods surrounding. Whispers of confusion, rumors, murmurings all throughout as you make your way toward its center. The council stands off to one side. You see Vesna standing, not like alone, but kind of isolated. No one standing directly around her.
Wait. They made me move?
They would have told you that this was like, in order for a ceremony to begin, you couldn't be like in its center. You could be in the realm of the like you could be in the area of the ceremony.
Okay.
But like for it to function and for the magic to flow correctly, you would have to be on its outskirts.
It's like the casting of a circle in that case.
Fair enough.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it's definitely it's a circle. Sigils kind of drawn on the ground, and as what I was about to say, as you move closer, you all see that there is a massive sigil kind or a series of sigils and runes drawn into the space where she's at. You are all welcomed to stand with the council, or for spellcasters to partake in the ceremony itself.
I'll partake.
Daisy?
Yes, we'll stand with them.
The council?
Guess so.
Okay.
But only if Anwu wants to.
You're muted.
He sits and thinks for a minute.
I think for just a second. I think if you start moving towards the council to stand with them, I am going to grab your hand. Anu grabs your hand and kind of shakes no, that at least he doesn't want to.
All right, I'll stay here with you.
Scorn? Inaka?
Scorn's going to find Zeb.
Zeb would be standing on the he would be standing in, I guess, at this point, in the on a point in the circle.
Inaka follows behind Scorn, but as he goes to go walk up to Zeb, she kind of squeezes his hand for a minute, like, I'm not a caster. There's nothing I can do here.
I just need to say something, sweetie, and then I'm going back to watch. Zeb.
Can people hear us?
I mean, the crowd is so loud, you can be quiet enough that no one would hear.
Hey, Scorn.
She doesn't survive this. Her soul goes back to him.
There is a little bit more to it, I think, than just that. Because if she dies, I think that's the point of the separation, is severance. Or at least I could hope.
That last resort that I told you about. You have that as an option. Dead but bound. I'm not going to force anything on you. You've always been dim but wise.
Yeah, well.
You've never been stupid to me, kid, but I know no matter what, you're going to make the right decision. I just want you to know that if you need my assistance, I have it, and I will freely give it to you.
I appreciate that.
And if he doesn't want it, I'm just going to go back with Inaka so we could watch.
He'll grab it, or grab his arm and just like give a quick little like hand it over.
Just
He's going to reveal a little bit of your blade, and he's just going to take his thumb, and his thumb is going to go from purple to like pitch black, necrotic looking, and he's just going to smear the blade, and the blood coming from his thumb is just going to be black, and then it's just going to fade and clear into the blade. He's going to be a little lightheaded for a while, but
Now, to be fair, it's just an option.
you don't have to use it, and I will not be upset if you don't. It'll be gone in an hour regardless.
No matter what, I hope you find peace
Thank you.
in the closing
matter
of
what.
this chapter.
And no matter what, I hope you find her. Truly. You've always been a good friend, Zeb.
Someone's got to be.
Right. And if you ever need my services, you got me.
Oh,
he's going to walk back. And his thumb's going to still be black. He's going to try to nurse it a little bit and wrap it up with some gauze.
We're gonna make some rolls now. There are 8 points in this circle. Zeb, you understand the significance. A goddess of life, a tree of life, the 8 branches of Imranath. an attempt to make once again alive what has been corrupted. I'm going to need an Arcana or Religion check from you. I assume Religion.
You assume correctly.
I'm going to make some rolls on my end.
Which dice? During our conversations the night prior, what was her mother's name?
Lillian.
I was using my last luck to remember that. I got an 18.
I was also thinking that, Kelsey. With an 18, you see your point of Imranath begin to glow. A green gold light, if there is a way to fuse those two colors together. I'm going to need all of the rest of you, because I'm not letting anybody free from this responsibility, even if you didn't step up. I would like all of you to make religion checks. You will be making them for clerics and paladins. So I'm going to give each of you plus 1d6 to what you're rolling. So Caden, you get a plus 2 to your roll. Kelsey, you also get a plus 2. Let's use another d6, see what we get. Oh, shoot. Will, you get a plus 5 to your roll. Grace, you also get a plus 5. I'm only taking a plus 1. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got 2 more to roll. Okay.
Don't mind the music in the back. I'm trying to figure out something good for this.
All good.
That's not quite something really creepy if you want that.
When would you like those rolls, Josh?
Grace, go ahead.
27.
Wait. Didn't you have a plus 5?
I had a plus 3, naturally,
No,
from
sorry,
religion.
You're not rolling as Daisy. You're rolling as...
Oh, okay.
Like, you get a plus 5 total.
Then 24.
Okay.
Because I rolled a natural 19.
Gotcha.
Dang.
Yeah. All right. So, you all see a what seems to be a type of priest. Their point on this ritual begin to glow. Magic slowly from both Zeb's and theirs kind of inching its way forward toward Vesna. Who wants to go next? Who wants to tell me that roll?
I'll go. +2. That's a 14.
There is what looks to be an arcane caster. It seems to be struggling with the religious nature of what's going on. Whether they're just falling behind in the ritual or whether they will be eventually unable, you're not sure. But there is no glow coming from their point. You see another figure, the magic of which seems to kind of be lost on you. You're not quite certain what its origin is, but a glow begins to come up from under them on their point, and it begins to inch forward like the others so far. Will.
I rolled a 16 plus 5, so 21.
Another. This one seeming to have some form of primal magic. A Gentkin. Seems to be drawing from their own elemental source. Kelsey?
19, you said +2. That makes 21 as well.
Okay. All right. With 2 more casters, all in their spaces, succeeding their rolls. You see magic beginning to swirl around in almost a vortex around Vesna. There is one piece missing, but it doesn't seem to be missing for long. Or at least it doesn't seem to be entirely essential. Seems as though a majority is what is necessary. You see the 8 branches, or the 8 points on the circle, slowly come together into a trunk of a tree and begin to extend outward, almost as if almost like if you can imagine the way that the Earth's magnetic field kind of comes up and around like that, you know what I mean? That is what this ritual begins to look like. At the top of the vortex, where the magic begins to shift outward, you see the trunk of this tree extending onward into the sky and branching out into 8 branches. Zeb, it has been a long time since you have felt this presence. A long time.
Just a single tear. As he just stares at it.
There is no solid sky above you, you know this. But the branches of Imranath stretch out over you as if they themselves were the firmament. As if this ritual were the focal point of Imara's power. Just for a second, you feel as if she was there with you. Vesna, you see her within this this vortex in the center, in the central area where the trunk of this tree is, this ethereal tree is forming. You see her writhing in the pain of the divine energies that are encroaching on her form. You see remnants of the form she had taken only the night before. You see tails begin to grow and they're suppressed back into her. You see horns and spines and spikes beginning to protrude from her body. You hear a screech from within this ritual. You hear a voice, low, growling. Its tones, something I will not try to reproduce, as I am unable to do so. Something like a fire. No, a magma chamber emitting from within this. The voice, do any of you speak Infernal? You all hear a voice in a tongue that seems entirely evil, echoing through this ritual. No matter how strong Imara's power seems, there is something that in a moment feels stronger. For several seconds, this continues, growing louder and louder. The spines grow out again, the tails, the horns begin lashing out into the tree, this spectral apparition of Imara's strength. It begins to falter. There are portions of it that seem to be pulling back away and back into their original points. The roots of the tree grow weak. Chanting of the casters begins to grow louder and louder, overpowering the voice that echoes from inside. The vortex swirls and rips something from within Vesna. A darkness, the form itself that she begins taking is ripped from her body. It begins to swirl in this vortex, is carried up and spread through the 8 branches of Imranath over you. There is darkness sitting over all of you for several moments. Vesna collapses. Whether alive or dead, you have no clue. She falls to the ground. The force of this thing being ripped from her, causing her to bleed profusely. You can't tell from where. You see no breath. You see only her fallen form. The darkness above you blocks out the sun. The crowd around you, the town, the entire city almost gathered around you goes quiet. As if time itself holds its breath. The darkness, of its own volition, runs.
Am I able to do that?
Are you able to do what?
Am I able to stab that thing? Whatever is...
It is not in her.
I know, but
It is like 50,
Gotcha.
80
Gotcha.
above.
Okay.
Yeah, this is at the top of the spectral tree with the branches kind of extending outward. The darkness is fired off in all 8 directions. It runs from this divine ceremony. The vortex is calmed as the 8 branches retract. magic falls back to the ground. The glow is maintained in the sigils in this circle. You see Vesna motionless. You see her gasp for air. She is alive. She looks around. For the first time, you see something different about her gaze. Her face goes pale as she sees the blood that she has lost around her. And she goes unconscious once again. Turning this back over to you as the ritual is complete. What do you do in the wake of this?
I would check to see if there truly was a pulse.
There is.
The first part of the first part of the sentence has been carried out. So now what?
The second part.
I heard that.
I like to slink down a little bit.
I don't know if I missed it or I was tuned out or something. There was a reading of her crimes to the
Yes, that would have been done before all of this.
before, obviously.
I did not mention it, but it would have been done. Yeah.
Big ass ceremony.
I should have. That
condemn
was
this
something you
person.
all specifically said you wanted. But yes, that was on me again.
No, I'm just
Golly, I'm 0 for 2.
Yeah, Josh, come on.
Doing
Get
great,
it together.
kid.
Yes, that they read it, the public heard, and then this.
Now it's life in prison?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to see. The cameo from Amara, though, that was fun. Never met her before, so.
Zeb will pick.
You still have it. She's still in her realm. It was the greatest gathering of her power that you felt since the shattering, though.
It was close enough.
Zeb will pick up Vesna and gesture to the guards to essentially lead the way.
Okay.
Onwu is like looking around the crowd to see like what the general vibe is, like, for lack of better words, like what is the attitude of the crowd? What do people think?
I mean, it doesn't take much. I'm not even going to require a check. They were appalled at what they've heard about Vesna. Some of them find it hard to believe. Most of them find it hard to believe. But most of them believe it. But still, she, for all intents and purposes, was their Evita, if that means anything to you. She was their Eva Perón. And so there is a great mourning over the crowd. With the recognition that justice has been done. She was, in a lot of ways, the sweetheart of the Republic. And so there are some tears. There is a great deal of sadness. She will be mourned and missed. And those are the vibes. Once she has been locked away, you are all asked to join one more time in that room of meeting. You're not forced. You're not, escorted there. But there is an invitation for a specific time to meet. Do you all go?
Just for posterity's sake, there is protest from Inaka. I don't want to. It's boring. It's stupid. All right, fine.
It's stupid, but it's closure, sweetie. Let's go.
I also agree that politics is stupid, but it's unfortunately sort of necessary.
Yes.
On the day in which this is being recorded, I also agree. Politics is stupid. Anyway, that's that. You are gathered in the room then. The council stands before you. You see Thalrex with the quill beginning to take notes, as he has done all along. The council as a whole regards you. And I mean that not only in terms of noticing your presence, but truly regards you. Giving your entrance the weight that it is due. Lady Marwyn, still clad in formal battle regalia, and the vestments of her goddess, steps forward. What you have done for us, for the Republic, and for the world at large is no small thing. First, you will be rewarded and your compensation will fit what you have done, not what you were initially hired to do. And it will come with a bit extra for our gratitude and for your hazard. A a chest is brought in with your earnings. They have been divided. There's no need to double count unless you would like to. It has been divided evenly, set in bags for each of you. Second, you have our thanks and our sincerest apologies. We meant that you only smuggle something for us from one country into another. And you have done so much more. And for that, we are both grateful and sorry.
Yeah, I blame Daisy.
Yeah, I never can seem to mind my own business. Why are we blaming me?
Nah, I just
It's
thought
easy.
it would be funny.
I'm usually to
blame
blame in
things.
some way.
We're just having fun. Woo!
Finally, and this has come at a great deal of thought and consideration. We would ask you to accept a gift from us, the council, personally. We have a keep prepared in the city of Garthan for you, should you desire it. And an honorary and non-committal place on our council. Use it as much or as little as you wish, if you would accept these. Your voice will be heard, considered as one of our own. And should you desire never to partake, never to even see us again, you wouldn't have to. No requirements on your part, as the title is a gift.
You know, I accept. Sure.
Yeah, I'll go to a couple meetings.
Yeah. I think it would be good to stick around, keep everyone real close.
Can I be a member at large? You know, so like, I don't like I'm involved, but no, yeah, you just said that. I'm good. Yeah, I accept.
Just give me and him a sending stone. I'll keep him updated.
I would
Brent?
actually I would prefer over the keep resources. My Anu and I talked about this, and we would much prefer to be on the ground, working to undo some of the things the former councilwoman did.
Oh, you could take my portion of the treasure if you'd like.
Oh no,
I'll
we're
take the
keeping
keep.
we're keeping our personal portions.
Oh, what
we
I'm
just
saying,
want-
like, because you want to trade the keep in, but like, I kind of like the idea of having a place to actually not necessarily call home, but like,
What of this?
I travel a lot and I need a center.
What of this? You, for efforts concerning the undoing of what has been done and the furtherance of freedom in the world, have access to our fund newly created on your behalf, with the caveat that what is spent must be recorded.
I'm
Save your receipts.
really good at recording things.
Then you have access to the fund. Resources sustained, a keep maintained.
Sounds good to me. When do we get to go back to Hildor? Is that the place I went to? Hildoran?
Hildoran, yes.
Eldoran,
Hildoran.
she looks dumbfounded. Just like, what? Why would you want to go back there?
Well, there are a lot of people who really don't want to be there.
Much of my kin is still dead.
Did that message to the Dragon Frixias that I mentioned that I had one of your people send out ever make it to him?
It did. Now, as the DM, I would ask for a reminder what that message said.
Hey, get your ass here. I need your help. That's
Oh,
about
yeah.
it.
There might be a dragon on the way.
A black dragon at that.
It is in this moment that you hear a knocking at the door. You know what? For the sake of it, why not? Actually,
Oh
I will say, the Chancellor says, in fact, it did. And under the circumstances, it had escaped me. He has been maintained in an inn within the city. Shall I send for him?
What inn? Because because I'll just go take care of that.
I believe it was the Beggar's Purse. Believe you me,
Yeah.
it is actually not as well. It's a dump, but that's where he wanted to end up.
That sounds like him.
I think we stayed there last night. It's not. No, it's a dump.
It's just what you need it to be.
Yeah.
Zeb will go. He'll be like, "I'll be right back. I'll go grab him." He goes to the door. He looks back, counts every single one. He's like, "Remember, I want that home," and he'll leave.
And we have not heard from you. Would a Yentkin grace us with her presence in our courts?
Give me a dojo and him at Potion Shop, and I'll stay.
Granted.
They could be the same building if it makes it easier for you.
Preferably.
That was what I was going to do anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't complain.
I was being nice and being facetious.
And she, as she says it, she kind of like gives you a slight kind of smirk. Almost kind of like, gotcha.
He's mine. Eyes to yourself.
Anyway,
I just got backstabbed by her wife.
Very well. No, sorry. Go ahead, Will.
I said too soon.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
This is the after we're talking about.
And that's why I was like, I was rolling with it. It was like, okay, yeah, that's absolutely Naka.
It's fine.
Very well. A keep, funds, a dojo and workshop. All granted. And spots on the council maintained. Use them truly as often as you will. And she kind of steps back in line with the rest of them.
begins to the kind of all begin to talk about various honestly how to move forward.
Yeah.
And not that she is disregarding you at this point or any of the council, but definitely they're at work, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
as soon as Daisy knows when they're supposed to leave for Hildoran, she's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do know that there's a boat that goes relatively frequently out of what was the name of that gosh dang city? First city you were in. No, yeah.
Nestor.
Nelter.
It might have
Nelter.
yeah.
I was so close.
There is a boat that makes that run specifically for the purposes you're talking about out of Nelter.
We would like to gain passage and supplies and whatever manpower it may take to empty out those mines.
You raised enough to book passage on a ship that was
Hildoran bound.
Hildoran bound.
We're standing right on the bow. Headed for that land.
The ship.
As we board this ship, I just lean over to Daisy and I go, I think I want a shop.
Like
just some place to kind of tinker,
where you'll never have to ask if you can tinker in here again. I like it. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Maybe Balshador? Is that a place? I don't know.
It sounds familiar.
Something quiet.
I don't know if you're ever gonna get that around me, but I'll try my best.
There. Well,
Once we're done here.
once we're done.
Then, while we're here, Anyan Wu, Daisy, how do things end up for you all?
We literally just told you exactly what happened.
You literally
We just laid it out.
to be more clear,
Yes.
I think for Daisy and Onwu, I think they keep to their word and keep to their promises. I think they I think they stick by each other through everything. I mean, Onwu would pull Daisy along just to rummage through trash to find different trinkets, and Daisy would, pull Onwu along to go to some crazy place to make another crazy adventure, crazy story. But I definitely think that it is in Onwu's goals to settle down somewhere and take a break from adventuring himself. I think a lot of his past is still up to question, but I think he feels that there'd be more craziness, more lies, more deceit, more fighting if he tried to figure out what had been done in his home. And I think he's made a name for himself. He's defined who he is. I think he starts anew, and aims for something quieter. So I think he wants that shop just to tinker and help other adventurers, other travelers. That's the way he can be a hero, is by supplying someone with some crazy magic item that they've never heard of before. Yeah.
What if it was a tinkering tavern?
The Tinker's Tavern. I kind of like that. I kind of
Oh,
like that.
little
Stop.
shows every night.
Yeah, big old armory in the back. I like that.
Hell yeah, Tinker's
That'd be
Tavern.
sick. That'd be sick. What about Daisy? What's Daisy up to?
She's opening the Tinker's Tavern.
Oh, fair.
I just told you. She laid it out right there.
Got me. Got my ass.
Oh, listen.
Definitely after they have done all that they can to reverse the effects that Vesna had. Yeah, she would spend a couple of years opening the Tinker's Tavern. Eventually, with time, because Daisy's still young and dumb, but eventually with time, heal enough to have a relationship with Onwu. And
Anu's in that same place. He's young
Yeah.
and dumb.
yeah, and really traumatized.
We're all traumatized.
I laid that on thick making this girl. But she would open the tavern, have probably little adventures once it's up and running and capable of functioning without her, but she probably wouldn't be really gone for more than a day. She's got some attachment issues.
Scorn and Inaka.
Scorn definitely opens up his little pojo, and he's very happy with his new wife and permanent wife, Inaka. He has been studying and growing in potions, and anyone that says the password from his past, he's been trading with and learning extra things from, selling his wares to all that ask, and even giving some to friends that come to visit from time to time. Meanwhile, he's no longer burning through all of his charges of Hat of the Skies every night, standing in front of a mirror, turning into every goblin and hobgoblin he's seen in his past, saying, "I'm sorry." Now he's saying thank you to every face he turns into from his past. It's no longer "I'm sorry." Life is better now. He's going to keep it that way. With her.
Inaka is surprisingly happily teaching whatever students come into her dojo, spending her evenings with Scorn, writing letters to her parents, inviting them over occasionally, which is very strange for her, but it's something that she's learning to enjoy. She's a fairly simple creature. She's the happiest she's ever been.
Keep hitting the wrong button. And Zeb.
So as soon as he left that meeting, he ran fast as he could to Frixias. Basically said, "I hope you can fly a long distance because we're going to Hildoran and we're going right now." And so essentially, I imagine Daisy and Onwu try to, like, once they get there, everything is a smoldering mess. Every Arborian Wraith, their uniform is like hung up by daggers all over the city. And this sort of like symbol of like a black dragon and a golden, being ridden by a golden knight, has become this like new, like, almost like a wives' tale to people doing wrong. And he shares with Phyrexias at some point that it was him who killed his father way back during the sieges. And he lets Phyrexias handle that. However, he accepts his judgment.
Roll me a D100. Don't tell me yet. Let me settle this in my brain before I hear the roll.
Y'all know how I am with D100s.
Go ahead.
28.
Okay. In dragon form, you see not anger in his eyes, but hurt. By this point, you've been through a lot with Phyrexias. You've become a symbol. You've helped him achieve. You've helped him to become more than a thief demanding tribute in a city slum. And he's hurt. His mouth begins to... a green smoke curls out of it. Drop another and another of acid falls onto the ground.
But we were made for something more than death. We are children of the twins. Children of justice. Perhaps that is more than one life for another. Perhaps it is bigger than you, than me, than my father before me.
I needed below a 30 for him not to kill you.
I'm really good at rolling D100s. Because, like, that's the third, like, skin of my teeth in us playing games. So, the next one's gonna really screw me over, though. So,
Knock on wood, don't put that on us.
he simply bows. I've lived a very long life. I will probably continue to do so. And my penance is to make every day better for those around me. So if you'll help me, even a little bit of that, then I think it's worth it.
Perhaps my kin could learn from you. Perhaps what you did was even right.
a different time.
Then let us be on with now.
And he, his wings kind of flare out, ready to take flight.
I imagine that they've actually like fashioned sort of like a little like a saddle for Sebastian. And
Definitely very like hiccup and toothless.
yeah, and he'll get on. He's got like a his duster that he wears. He doesn't wear that anymore. He actually does. He has like a plain shirt, and a very like sand white cloak, essentially, that's like laden with holes and everything. And he just says, "To victory."
To justice.
Shoulder back up. And off.
I totally forgot to mention that Daisy wants to keep an ear to the ground and keep an eye out for any mention of her brother, Baldor. Just a side note. That's something she would also be doing.
Yeah, Anwu would definitely try to help you in that search.
We don't need to go into that, but that is something that was really important to her.
I will say, you hear word. He is, if the news that you hear is true, he's in one of the divine cities, the celestial cities. One of the 4 that once floated. One of the 4 surrounding Imranath in Asmaria. Much like Inaka's parents, he was put to work. But thanks to many rescue operations, Daisy and Anyanwu see him freed. Is there anything before we wrap this up that you want to say to him?
That would be way too long for an epilogue.
Then we will say only this: that you are reunited and conversations occur over long meals, drinks, some pipe weed.
You all get invited to the Pojo for some news. Just saying that this is where all that happens.
I love that.
What? What do you have to tell us?
For the news that Scorn and Inaka were expecting.
Oh. Excellent. In the remainder of your time in this world of ethos, you see many dark things. You try to heal what you can, and the places you touch become beacons of light in a dark world. The lives you touch become torches that can continue on and light others and others. You hear news that Lady Marwyn, every now and then, is coming around to healing, and every now and then makes her way to the cell to visit. You get news that Vesna has made peace with her sentence. She's carrying the weight. It's heavy. But she carries it. Still, in all of the good that you do, you feel something at the edges of the world. Something at work. You remember the ritual, the darkness that ran from it. You remember the corrupted king. And during your lifetime, you make sure that his influence is quelled. And you hope and pray that others will come to replace you to do the same. That is where we will officially end Smuggled Into Revolution. Thank you all so much. Apologies for switching this up on you. But hopefully this has given you a satisfactory end and a bit of closure on all the many things that are happening or have happened in this story and in the world of Ethos. I'll do it too.
Oh, mine moved.
Right? Like he moved? Like you didn't he just ran away?
Yeah, he was right up here.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a crazy pleasure to journey this far into Ethos. We hope that you will stay tuned for our next adventure, City of the Lost, and all that entails. We'll be exploring some themes of we'll be exploring some themes. That's all I'll say. I mean, I think we talk about it in Legendary Libations a little bit. And if you haven't seen that, go watch it. All of that said, we bid you all good night or good day or whatever it is where you are.
I love you.
Until next time, keep on looking for those legends.